Click the link in the description for your free Amsoil catalog. It's time for a quick shout out to some of our friends. B&B Auto Sales, your muscle car connection in Brookings, South Dakota. Above the Notch Car Club, a car club for auto enthusiasts in northern New Hampshire. The New Hampshire Muscle Car Club, the largest muscle car club in all of New England. MGM Classic Cars in Addison, Illinois. Visit mgmclassiccars.com today. Beach Hill Automotive in Bethlehem, New Hampshire, specializing in the repair, service, and towing of muscle cars and classic cars. Absolute Auto Body and Collision Repair in St. Johnsbury, Vermont. And lastly, I am your independent Amsoil dealer. Click the link in the description for your free Amsoil catalog. And last but not least, if you decide to advertise with the Muscle Car Podcast, this could be part of your advertising message. Well, good evening and welcome to the podcast. I'm really glad you're here. Now, I have a robust lineup of muscle car entertainment on tap for you tonight. But before we get into all of that, I want to make sure that everything is working properly. So if you can see my face and hear my voice, I'm going to ask you to leave a comment. Please let me know where you're viewing this from and whether you are a first-time viewer or a regular viewer. Now, to our first-time viewers, if this is your first time hanging out with us tonight, I hope you have a good time with us, and I hope you decide to join us here each and every Wednesday night at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. Now, this podcast simulcasts to 8 different places across Facebook and YouTube. So wherever you're viewing this right now, just circle back in 1 week's time, and we'll be waiting for you with another fun-filled episode. To our regular viewers who are here week after week, month after month, and season after season, you are the ones who make this possible, and we really, really appreciate that. Let's take a quick comment here, and we'll bring our friends on, and we'll get this party started. Our good friend and regular viewer, Mike Whiteside, is here saying, hello, fellas. Hello back. It's great to see you. We appreciate that. And let me just switch screens here, and we will get here we go. We've got our good friend Rob. And how you doing, Rob? Nice to see you.
I'm doing good, Mike. And yourself?
Very good. Very good.
How's the heat down there?
Very hot. It's a little better today than it's been, but it's still hot. How about over there?
It's too hot for me. I'm made for winter.
Sure. I hear it. I hear it. Now, I was messaging with Virgil earlier. He's planning to join us tonight. He should be popping in here at some point. And I also need to offer an explanation to our viewers. I have been away the last few weeks. I had a chest cold about a month ago. The chest cold came and went pretty quickly, but I had a lingering cough for just weeks and weeks. So that's why I've not been able to do the podcast. So I still have it even a little bit now. But so I apologize to everyone, but we're hoping to get back on track here. And we've got another comment that's come in. Our good friends Stacy and Art Fosler from Platkill, New York, regular viewers. Wonderful to see you. And they are regular viewers from the very beginning, by the way. We really appreciate that. But yeah, any thoughts, Rob, before we get started, get into this? Or
well, it's been a long time since we've been on. I don't know if I remember what to do.
Exactly. It's true. It feels kind of odd. Like, what are we doing next? You know?
Yep.
But it'll all come back to us.
But it's good to be back.
Yes, for sure. For sure. Now, we've got some things. Rob's been very busy. He's got some things he's working on, and in a few minutes, we're going to get into that. He's going to tell us all about it. But before we do, I've got a dear friend of mine, one of my childhood friends and neighbors. Her name is Carol Ann. This is a photo. I ran into her at Walmart, I don't know, 7 or 8 years ago, and we took this selfie. But she was at a car show at Bentley's Bar and Grill in Arundel, Maine on Mother's Day. And she was sending me all these images of the cars she was taking pictures of. And her boyfriend's car is in this as well. In fact, this car right here is her boyfriend's car, which is a very nice car. So let me cue this up. It's cue up this video clip here. We're going to look at these images that she sent us. And yeah, sit back, get your popcorn going, and take a look. It's taking a moment to load, I think. Funny, the first video clip always takes a moment to load. So there we go. Yes, thank you to my dear friend, lifelong friend from childhood, Carol Ann. Sent me those images, and we really appreciate that. I hope she's viewing tonight, and yeah, we thank her so much for that. Rob, anything catch your eye in that?
Oh, there was a lot of gorgeous car. Her husband, boyfriend, or whatever car is pretty nice too. It's
Yes,
just a
right there.
nice blend of paint in it with a stripe on it. Sets it off really nice.
Yes,
Yeah,
and those
yeah,
wheels really set it off nice too.
yeah. That's good. And the last vehicle, that orange, the way the picture was blowing up, I wasn't sure what kind of car it was. I don't know if it's a Ford or Chev, the way it's blowing up because the fenders are so big on it, but it's such a smooth body car.
Yes, yeah, very nice. And I can usually identify cars from the 60s, 70s, 80s, but when it comes to the 40s and 50s, I'm kind of iffy, so I'm not sure what that is either.
Well, I know it's not a factory grill.
True,
It's not a factory front end on it. And yeah, but it's a nice job they did on making it look so smooth.
for sure.
Yeah. And the first couple of cars that come, oh, I like that van too.
Yes, that was very
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah. And if you look at the rad, you don't see anything in there. I wonder if that's one with the engine in the rear box.
Oh yes, yes, could be,
Yeah.
could
Yeah.
very well be.
Yeah.
And
And T-buckets look like to be a fun car to drive.
yes, whoops, just passed it.
Yeah.
There we go. And
Especially
there's
when you
another one
open
too.
up that exhaust right there.
Now,
Eliminate the
is this the
mufflers,
same
open
car
up the
from a different
exhaust.
angle?
I think there was 2 pictures of it.
Okay. And what were you saying about the exhaust?
Oh, especially when you can open up the exhaust right there. It'd be quite noisy.
Right off the header, yes.
Yeah. Yeah. And in the background one time, there was a race car with number 48 on it. I think we seen that at a couple other car shows, that one. The guy
Quite
drives it on the
possibly.
road.
Yes.
Yeah,
Well, and
because
this, I believe this is an Excalibur, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep, I think so.
Very cool. And then we've got a nice Camaro there too. But we've got a few comments that have come in. Let's take those. Let's see. Our good friend John Spranger Jr. is here. Nice to see you from Elon, Wisconsin. Regular viewer from the very beginning. Also, our good friend out in Australia, Terry Mountney. In fact, Terry, we need to get you and I'm trying. Plymouth Dale, I think is his name. We need to get the two of you back on the podcast sometime and do like we've done in the past. Kind of hear what the word is from Australia with the car.
Well, right
scene.
now they got winter right now, don't they?
I think they do.
Yeah.
Yes. And what's winter like out there for you, Terry? Let us know what the climate is like. Is it real cold or is it a mild winter?
Oh, it probably gets down to only 60.
Yes. And then our good friend Mike Whiteside said, "Oh, the Firebird at the beginning. Yes, black and yellow. That is a Firebird. I think I called that a Camaro earlier. But yeah, that's a sweet looking car right there.
Yeah, the first one you showed was a Camaro with a neat looking license plate right there.
Yes.
STO mod. Yeah.
Very cool.
That must represent something, the license plate.
Yes. Well, cool. So let me pull this away. And again, we thank my dear friend Carol Ann for those images. We appreciate that. Appreciate her participating in the podcast. And also, like I said, she's a lifelong friend and just really appreciate her friendship and just all through the years. Just her and her siblings and her parents, just wonderful, wonderful people all through the years. But so we're going to do some quick announcements, and then Rob has got a whole lot of stuff he's going to be talking to us about tonight. But let's do announcements real quick. We're going to do announcements in Amsoil. So I've got a quick announcement. The 16th of July, we're going to have, you've probably seen these magazines in Walmart and other places that sell quality periodicals, the Auto Roundup publications. They've got the Truck Roundup, the Classic Car Roundup, 70s cars, Mopar, things like this. Well, we're going to be talking to the president and publisher of these publications on July 16th, so you do not want to miss that episode. We're very much looking forward to meeting him and finding out all about these publications and just hanging out with him and having a good time. The other announcement that I had is if you are in need with your business, if you have a business and you're in need of help with video, podcasting, Facebook, YouTube, anything like that, I'm happy to try and help you with that. So if you're curious about that, please give me a jingle. My number is on the screen. Also, if you're interested in advertising in any of these podcasts that we do the Muscle Car Show and Tell podcast, the Vintage Snowmobile podcast, as well as Ben's Vintage Mini Bike podcast. So if you're interested in some kind of an advertising package on any or all of those, we would be happy to talk to you about that. And again, this throat thing is from that cold I had a few weeks ago. But yeah, so basically, Rob, the rest of the show is yours. I know you're going to make an announcement about Amsoil, and then you're going to tell us about something else you've been working on.
Okay, okay. You can have your throat take a break.
Yes,
I,
please.
I do this show with Mike, and I do the Vintage Snowmobile show. I do the mini bike show, and I also do a STP boat race event and broadcast with those guys. And I got an email last week. The guy asked me how many different kinds of Amsoil products there is. Well, I'm only going to go through a few. They can't go through all of them. But our biggest product we sell is our signature 5W30 oil. We have 8 different kinds of signature oils. This is the one good for 24,000 kilometers or 1 year. And our next product is our XL extended life oil. It's good for 12,000 or 1 year. That's why I sell the fleet. Some vehicles use oil, some don't. And then we have our OE oil. That's what the manufacturer likes. OE comes in it comes in 5 different grades also. We also have a complete line of premium oil. People with the older motorhomes and stuff like that, because it's a high zinc. It's 1,000 parts per million. Older motorhomes, older trucks that do a lot of miles, and this was good for 25,000 miles or 1 year. Also, a lot of them like that. We've already talked a number of times about the 3 different kinds of Z-Rod oils we have. 14 parts per million of zinc. And then if you want to go 16 parts per million, we have an Amsoil racing oil. Comes in 5 different grades. Yes. And with the racing oil, we also have a complete line of diesel oil for racing applications. Amsoil's getting big in racing and doing a lot with diesel, gas, and everything. We have a special oil just for Bridge and Stratton racing go-kart engines, T4. What do we got? Oh, this is a big seller for me, brake-in oils. When people build an engine, they put a brake-in oil just for dyno testing and then dump it. Amsoil's good for 500 miles. So you can run the engine for a while. Has 2,000 parts per million of zinc in it. So it's high zinc, good for the cams, rockers, and everything. I have to look this up, European, 6 different kinds of European oils. There's all the European oils complete different rating. They're like SAPs. They rate them by, not by API ratings. We have, got to look at my list here, 5 different 4-stroke oils for boats, snowmobiles, ATVs, stuff like that. 3 different kinds of small engine oils, 10W40, 5W30, 10W30. And with the small engines, a good product of mine is zero-turn oil. A lot of people with the zero-turn lawnmowers, they always go the same way one time, and one side of the pump burns out before the other ones. This eliminates the problems, makes it run cooler. 4 different kinds of dirt bike oils. Yeah. 4 different kinds of ATV and UTV oils. And we have 4 different kinds of the motorcycle oils. Now, at one of the shows we do, this 20W50, we have a bike sitting out in front of the booth, and we leave it running from 8 o'clock in the morning until 6 o'clock at night. And it's a Harley. It's air cooled, and it will not overheat with the Amsoil in it. It also comes in a complete kit available. High mileage vehicles. If you got a vehicle with 100,000 miles, you need a little bit thicker oil or something like that in it, we have it available. And people don't know that hybrids also take oils in them. So we have a hybrid oil available. Our gear lubes. I really like this container. Toothpaste container, I call it. It's really easy to fill up a rear end, a transmission, or something like that. And this week, we've been doing a lot of promoting with CTV oils. If you have a CTV transmission, I won't mention Hondas, you should check into it. There's a recall, and they're not recalling them until they break. The problem is, once they break, the parts aren't available for it. So if you want to eliminate the problem, put in an oil that's going to start running 20 to 50 degrees cooler. We also have diesel oil, 6 times the recommended and also 4 times the recommended qualifications of the oil. We have a racing oil, and we also have a commercial grade, and there's 9 different gear lubes we have available. Everybody's heard of 75 W90, 75 110 for the Dodge, 75 140 for the Fords. We have a 250. It's mainly for monster trucks when they roll upside down. That way the gears are still getting lubricated. But that's only 16 out of the 32 pages of Amsoil products we have available. If you want to know more about the Amsoil product, you can click on Mike's link and get one of these catalogs, and it has a little description about all the products we have available. Or you can send Mike a message, and he can send you a brochure just on the Z-Rod or Racing Oil or Signature Oil, any product you want. And if you want to know how to buy the product at the best possible discount, become a preferred customer. It costs you $10 for 6 months. And by becoming a preferred customer, Mike has a link down below you can click on, you save 25% on all your products. So a case of oil, $222, you're getting it for $160. That's the best, and they ship it right to your door free. And every time you order something, Amsoil always throws in a gift. A couple weeks ago, came out with a complete line of car care products. So they had this handy dandy wash thing they threw in if you ordered $100 worth. Up till today, they have a dash and leather and vinyl cleaning. They have this special cloth for cleaning dashes and all that available up till today. And tomorrow they're going to have another promotion. So if you want to know more about how to save with the Amsoil products or about the Amsoil products, click on the link Mike has available down below, and you can get your own catalog sent to you, or you can sign up as a preferred customer and save 25% on every you order. And it comes right to your door. Oh, I can't hear you, Mike.
Yes, sorry about that. We very much appreciate that, because when you use my link and my referral number, we get a commission. I'm signed up as a dealer under Rob. So when you order through me, he and I both benefit. And this is how we pay the bills here with the podcast, is our Amsoil sales. So we thank you if you're considering ordering using my referral number. And we thank also the people who have been. We really, really appreciate that. And you're helping to support this podcast when you do that. And then I think Rob has got a special guest he's working on bringing on the podcast, and he's going to tell us about that. Or did you have something else you were going to show us?
A number of years when I was at one of the Amsoil training course, they had a guy there with an Amsoil cup. And since I had lunch with him, he gave me a cup saying I had lunch with Banks. So anybody know about Mr. Banks? His biggest project I heard at the beginning was a rear end cover. He's the only company I know that makes a rear end cover that makes your rear end run cooler. Well, he's also a big Amsoil enthusiast, and he also likes racing vehicles. That's why we can't get a hold of him this week. There's some big diesel race going on, and I've seen pictures of him at Pikes Peak with a car with a diesel engine in it that it didn't make it to the top of the hill. It missed the corner. But he is really interesting in learning about how he started his business and how he promotes it and what new products he has come available. Now, we've been in contact with him a couple times back and forth and trying to set up a date for him to come on the show to tell us how he started his company, why he started his company, and what's he got coming out new. But until we can get a final date from him, we got some videos to show you about what he has done in the past.
Absolutely. And which one would you like to have me play first, Rob?
Let's do the short one with rear end cover. I like that one.
That is cool. All right, let's take a look here. We're going to roll this footage.
Power today. I'm Gale Banks, and I think I'll show you some stuff about what happens under the sheets, so to speak. A lot of people wonder what's going on inside the tin cover on your rear end. There's a lot of theories people have been popping on Facebook about what's really going on in there. I thought, well, okay, let's do a plastic thing. And oh, by the way, we got to do a plastic thing where there's no drain plug in the plastic, just to keep our life less complex. So we borrowed a friend's 03 F-150 Harley Davidson, Ford, of course. And it's got a pretty significant ring gear setup. And we've got it filled with a 75 W90 synthetic. And there are a number of things I wanted to talk about on this before we even spin it. We're going to spin it at 15 miles an hour. We're going to spin it at 30. With this thing up on the hoist. I don't want to go much further. And of course, we pulled the rear tires and wheels off. So it's a disc brake setup. So no drums are going to fly off. Basically, we filled this to the factory fill level. And the first thing I wanted to point out, a lot of people go, oh, you got to fill the rear end high enough so the oil goes into the axle tubes. Well, what happens when you start running to that high enough thing? Here it is. It's filled to the forward level, and we're actually a bit below the axle tube. It might look a little different from the camera angle, but once we start running, you can reference these fill level marks, and you'll see what's going on with the actual level in the sump of the differential. As the ring gear turns, it carries lube with it and flings it off into a channel that's in the casting that takes it to both pinion bearings, all the way to the front and falling down on and lubing the rear pinion bearing. Also, I want you to notice what's going on in terms of spill off towards the axle tubes. In other words, there is a dynamic situation, even if you haven't filled it, so it flows into the axle tubes with this truck sitting still, which is meaningless. It needs to be in the axle tubes when the truck is moving. You'll notice there's enough action here as you get up to speed that you're actually going over these outside bearings and into the axle tubes. So let's fire this thing. And 15. All right, here we go. Right away, you see it start picking up lube at the ring gear. We're at 15 miles an hour. You can see the lube coming up and making a direction change right here. If we had a squared off cover, that direction change would be pretty remarkable. By that I mean there'd be a whole lot of fluid action there and here. You can see a little bit down in here. Notice where the oil level is now. So much for getting it into the axle tube on this side. The other side is pretty dynamic because you have the ring gear and you have the speed transducer that gives you your speedo output. So you see the ring gear driving the lube up, and right here there's a bit of a square corner in this plastic model. Imagine, and of course I've got a better angle on what's happening turbulence wise than you do, but I'm telling you the lube is going up there and having to make a square corner, and it's doing a whole lot of work to the lube to make that happen. So imagine if the back of this was flat and it came out square corner, went up square corner, and went over. The fluid flow would look nowhere near as cool as this. So now looking over my shoulder, you can really see what I'm talking about. The lube, most of the lube is falling back down before it goes forward to the pinion bearing. And this is just a taste of what you'd have if this thing came back 3 inches and was dead flat. So let's go to 30. Can we go to 30? Here we go. So now we're at 30 miles an hour. You can only imagine what happens when you're at 60, 70, or 80. But you're getting spill off that I mentioned filling down into the axle tube. You'll also notice there's aeration in the lube right now. Now can we bring it down to idle? And go ahead and put on the brakes. Let's stop the ring gear. Now you'll notice the flow back in. Here comes the stock fill level. You notice it's foaming on top. I hope you all can see that. There's your air coming out of the lube as it sits still. The whole idea of different shapes to this housing has to do with maintaining the fluid travel with the ring gear, as you guys just saw at 15 miles an hour, you could really see it. If you change the shape from the intended shape, and I firmly believe that you want, as close as you can, you want the distance from the inside of the cover to the ring gear to remain as consistent as possible. So you've got a consistent lube velocity through that channel. And that's pretty sacred in there. What you do with fins and what you do to improve the heat transfer from the fluid through the material to the air, that's pretty important. Now, we all know that aluminum transfers heat better than steel. So right off, you'd think if you made the rear cover out of aluminum, you'd get better heat transfer. That's true. Some guys have asked, well, I'm making carbon fiber. Well, that's pretty much an insulator. This plastic is an insulator. You really don't want to make them out of an insulator. You want to get the heat the hell out of the lube. You can see the amount of foam that's already coming out of the oil. Our aeration sample, we let that sit for at least 12 hours in a graduated cylinder, and then we reheat it to the original temperature it was when we put it into the graduated cylinder, and we look at the percentage reduction in oil volume. And the only way that can happen is the oil's not evaporating, the air's coming out. For those of you who've been following this, we've been at it 5 weeks now, and we're working every day. So I especially want to thank Curtis, who's up in the truck, running the action from upstairs. And of course, there's this fool who's under the truck while it's on the hoist and running. Don't do this at home. Anyhow, we're gonna be coming with the data, and we've really refined the test. My curiosity is kind of overwhelming, and I, by God, want the numbers. But the other side of me wants the numbers to be absolutely repeatable and testable by any of the guys whose covers I test. It's got to be dead honest. Secondly, I want the knowledge, and there's nowhere to find the knowledge. It's just not out there. So stay tuned. There's more on the way. If you want to follow along with the progress, or you want to follow along with all the other stuff we're doing, please subscribe. I think you'll find some enjoyable stuff, and maybe we'll all learn something.
Yeah, so thank you, Rob, for making that possible to view that. Seeing it with that clear cover is really something.
Yeah, that's the first thing I found out about him is the covers. But since then, he's got into making large horsepower out of diesel vehicles.
Nice.
Yeah, turbos and stuff like that. He says everybody's doing cars, but not too many people are doing diesels. So he went to Pikes Peak with a diesel-powered car.
That's amazing.
Very interesting man to talk to. Knows all the different manufacturer brands and what their problems are and how to solve them.
That's amazing. Very cool. And then while we were reviewing that, we had a couple of comments that came in. Terry Mountain, our good friend from Australia, saying it's 10 degrees, probably Celsius out there. He said he's going to see his friend Dale when he gets back from the holidays in September. And we would definitely look forward to bringing them back on the podcast again and hanging out with them and seeing what they're doing in Australia as far as their car scene. Also, here's a good one for you, Rob. Mike Whitesides wants to know if Amsoil makes a product similar to Seafoam.
No, not even close to Seafoam. Seafoam is 60% bleach. Bleach is a really good cleaner, and it's a lubricator. It will clean the injectors and pistons and all that. But if you let your engine sit for a week, bleach is really toxic to parts. So it leaves pipette marks, especially on a small engine. It really is harmful on the inside of the aluminum parts of the engines. So we do have a product that replaces that. That's our quick shot for the small engines and our PI for the gas. It will dissolve the dirt in the gas tank, clean the injectors. It cleans exhaust intakes, top of the pistons. And one customer of mine says you get 2 to 3 times longer life out of your catalytic converter because you're keeping it clean by adding Amsoil PI cleaner.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah.
Very cool. Very cool. And then there was another clip that you were wanting to show us. Did you want to discuss that before we play that?
The time I met him at Amsoil, he was down 2 days ahead of us doing a tour through the plant. And this is his tour going through the plant, and they're showing them how they make the product and they're testing and how they, I think they show how they change from one product to the next. It's really interesting. They have a little device called a pig, but it's a rubber thing that goes through the line and cleans all the lines out before they switch from gear lube to engine oil. And that way there's nothing in between getting mixed that shouldn't be. Yeah.
Nice. No cross-pollination, so to speak.
Yep.
Yes. Well, cool. Let's play this and we'll have a look here.
Welcome to Engineering Unboxed, where every day is Christmas.
Oh.
Diesels are notorious for putting soot in the engine oil. I'm going to show you a way to get the soot the hell out of there. Hi, I'm Gale Banks. Here's a story you may not know. Back about 1970, we were heavily into the marine engine business. Not diesel, gasoline. Oldsmobile approached us to build an endurance racing engine out of their 455 V8. At the time, there was a guy drag racing Oldsmobiles out here on the coast. In 1969, they hired him to build a boat racing engine. There were lots of problems with taking that mid-range design Oldsmobile that loafed its way through its life in a big-ass car and turning it into a racing engine that would run 5,200 RPM up to 9 hours straight at wide open throttle, which was the Parker 9-hour Enduro.
3, 2, 1.
APBA and the National Jet Boat Association both had championship series. They ran in parallel. They couldn't get the engine to live for a 20-minute sprint race. They kind of threw up their hands, and a magazine guy who knew what we did suggested they come to us. So they came to us. We built a 455 Olds powered jet boat with a jacuzzi jet on it, and the number on the side of the boat was 455. And since we took kind of a laid-back approach to doing all this kind of stuff, the boat was named Nice and Easy, driven by Barry Lieberman. Barry Lieberman ran Hardin Marine down in Anaheim. We not only won the APBA Jet Boat Championship, we also won the NJBA, National Jet Boat Association Championship. And then we took it to Parker, Arizona for the Parker 9-hour, and we won our class in the 9-hour. Shortly after that whole program went down, Oldsmobile decided they wanted to build a diesel engine for use in Oldsmobile cars and also GMC pickup trucks. They asked me to come and talk to the guys on the diesel program. And I told them a couple of things. And one of them was, you need more head bolts. You're going to blow head gaskets, because their design was nominally 16-to-1 compression ratio. You need to do 4-bolt mains because you're going to kick the crank in the street. And you need to do a roller tappet camshaft because the soot in the oil destroys the zinc dithiophosphate in the oil package. Zinc dithiophosphate is the extreme pressure lubricant additive that was used at that time. A more modern version of zinc dithiophosphate is used right up to today. Those 350s were the most notoriously unreliable engines. Much as I hate to say it, the engines blew in every way I predicted. They had crank problems, they had head gasket problems, and they flattened the cams. The issue here was the Olds 350 diesel destroyed the idea of having a diesel engine in a passenger car. It was so bad that Mercedes-Benz stopped importing diesel cars into the United States for 6 years because nobody would buy them. The final fix for the whole situation was they discontinued the 350 engine, and GM designed a 6.2 liter V8 for use in the 82 pickups, Chevy and GMC. So soot is the enemy of engine oil. Even current diesel engines still produce some soot, and it gets into the oil. If you look at my 2019 Ford Mule, in the Ford owner's manual, it gives you the oil change interval, and then it says if you're doing heavy towing or working the truck hard, you should change your oil more often. Why is that? My suspicion is, as the soot builds up in the oil package, when you're working harder, you're producing more soot. Some of it goes out and gets trapped in the DPF, the diesel particulate filter, and some of it goes past the rings into the oil. That's just how it is. I had a look at the oil the other day in this Ford. It's still the factory fill. It's overdue for changing. And I thought, you know what? Let's have a look at that oil. And lo and behold, there's soot in the damn oil. The problem is that today's conventional oil filters only filter down to about 20 microns. But I've been hearing about bypass filtration systems for 60 years. I've never tried one. So I thought, I'm going to try one on that Ford. So I called up my buddies at Amsoil and I said, you guys make bypass oil filtration systems, right? And they said, yeah, well, what do you need? And I said, I got a 2019 Ford. And they said, one's in the mail today. So I got it. It's a lot of boxes for a bypass oil system. Let's have a look at what we've got here. Engine degreaser. Mudslinger. It actually says Mudslinger. Box number 2. Somewhere there must be a bypass filtration system. Next item. Ha! Synthetic firearm lubricant. I got a use for that. Synthetic air tool oil. Got a use for that as well. Bypass filtration system. Miracle Wash. Is Miracle Wash something you use for baptisms? That's really off color, isn't it? Heavy duty metal protector. Oh my. Okay. The last box has what? The box says 10W40 synthetic dirt bike oil. But there's no dirt bike oil in here, but there's an oil analysis pump kit, prepaid UPS oil analysis kit. Everything you need to ship the oil sample to the lab is in here, including the sample bottle itself. One of the cautions I'll give you on oil analysis is don't drain it out of the drain plug. You'll get stuff that's kind of precipitated out of the oil and then is laying out on the bottom of the pan. So your sample will get some of that stuff off the bottom of the pan mixed in. That's not representative of what's actually going on in the oil. So a kit that allows you to go down the dipstick tube, which is what this is all about, and pump it out, which is what this is all about. It's kind of a vacuum pump, and it pumps it right into the bottle, which you thread into this. You attach the sample bottle, and you vacuum some oil out of the engine and fill the sample bottle. Sample kits, boy, we're set up for a while here. We are set up for a while. So this will please my wife. I think this is an Amsoil refrigerator magnet. Yeah. Oh, baby. I'm pretty sure these are designed for a toolbox. But when my wife wakes up tomorrow morning, there will be, this is going to be great. There'll be 3 of these on the refrigerator. I'm sure she's going to comment. Not that she doesn't back my play, don't get me wrong, but she's real proud of how she keeps the house. Anyhow, I have got Amsoil swag here till hell won't have it. Before we get into the bypass filter, I'd like to see what they threw in here. Miracle Wash, Mudslinger. All right, Mudslinger. Heavy duty metal protector. So there's the metal protector. Engine degreaser. Out here in California, the guys that are really into their cars are also really into the engine. And they keep the engine super pristine. The whole underhood is always show quality with most of the guys. This is cool. Got a blown big block Chevy on the cover. I had no idea that Amsoil made all this stuff, but I've got a use for all of it. Time for the bypass oil system. So a bypass oil system takes a small percentage of the engine oil from a high pressure source. It could be at the stock oil filter location. It could be where the oil pressure sensor is located. It varies from application to application. So what do we get in the box here? So it's a 2-stage pleated and layered construction, fully synthetic, marine powder coated shell, and it's 98.7% efficient absolute at 2 microns per the ISO standard 4548-12. At 2 microns, the media is so refined in this thing, it could be a diesel fuel filter. Okay, we've got a length of Parker air brake hose. That's pretty cool. So this stuff has a working pressure of 500 pounds. If you're running 50 to 100 pounds of oil pressure, you got a 5 to 10 to 1 over design. A lot of headroom with this stuff. It's not going to fail. It looks like we've got, here's the source of the oil for the Ford. So this spins on where your oil filter would be. The oil filter spins onto it. An 8th pipe port on the side feeds to the bypass filter. Might as well have a look at this filter while we're at it. I predict this rascal will hold a lot of very fine particles. Now, I haven't read the instructions, but I think I figured this out. This is the return fitting, and I think it replaces the oil cap where you fill the oil. So it's got ramps machined into it. It twists in and seals just like the stock filler cap does. So the line coming out of the filter goes to this. Now there's got to be an intermediate step here that mounts the filter itself. And I'm pretty sure this is it. Sweet. The oil flow is from the outside through these ports out to the outside of the filter media, through the filter media to the center, and back through this control orifice that controls the flow rate of the oil. And the last thing in the box, other than the instructions, is all the hose fittings and mounting hardware. Now, these hose ends are not just push-ons. These are high-quality industrial hose ends, swivels. Very nice package. There's tie wraps and what appears to be some Loctite. These guys package stuff the way we do. I really like this. You don't have to go to the hardware store and get tie wraps or whatever else you might need. So how the heck does this whole thing work? Oil is picked up out of the oil sump, drawn into the pump, out of the pump to the full flow filter, and out of the filter to the engine bearings, the valve guides, the piston skirts, the wrist pins, all of that. Flows by gravity back into the oil sump. A pressure sensor, oil pressure gauge, is tapped into the line from the filter to the engine bearings. That's where you measure engine oil pressure. In the second diagram, the pump is omitted. It would be in the line from the oil pan to the filter. Then out of the center or core of the filter, the oil flows to the camshaft, to the rock arms, to the bearings, and ultimately to the piston skirts and pins as well. And then it just naturally drains back into the sump. The bypass filter takes the filtered high-pressure oil, a small amount, in this case less than 5% of the pump's output, and it flows through this special Amsoil filter and then back into the sump. It's called a bypass system because it bypasses the engine bearings and all the workings of the engine. So this is designed for work truck use. Hot shot, big trailer, camper, whatever you're doing, long mountain grades, you're not buzzing the snot out of the engine like you are in a racing application. This I would not use on a racing engine, but boy, it's money for every other use. Let's take a hot shot, for example. You've got a hell of an aerodynamic load, even on flatland. You're into the throttle more. With a diesel, that's producing more soot. The more you get into it, working the truck, all these late model trucks, since they started using diesel particulate filters, have been tuned to minimize the soot output in the first place. Tuning that way also helps mileage and engine efficiency. But the diesel particulate filter is still absorbing soot and regenerating to burn that soot up so that the filter does not become too restrictive. So there's soot being produced, there's soot getting into the oil. With a setup like this, you can go way beyond the recommended oil change interval. I am convinced that if you intend to keep your truck for any period of time beyond the warranty, this is great insurance. I'm certainly doing it.
Yeah, so that's good information right there. Especially
I forgot that's the video we sent you, Mike.
Yes. Yes. And if someone's towing a car to a racetrack or to car shows, car events, that's definitely something to consider right there.
Yes. Can you make me large screen?
Yes, yeah, let me pull you full screen here.
Okay, here's on the brochure, the filters. And if you look at this top one over here, this screws into where your oil filter was before, and both filters are on the same container up above. And then it goes right back into where the oil filter was screwed in before. That's our newest design.
Wow.
Yeah.
So that's even better than what he was illustrating.
The promoter for this product was Bobby Unser, a 3-time Indy winner.
Wow.
Yeah. He's the one that helped design it and helped invent it. And when he was at our convention talking about it, he said, driving down the road with 5 quarts of oil in your car every 5 minutes, it cleans the oil cleaner than what brand new oil starts off at.
Really?
Yeah.
That's impressive.
Yeah. But Mr. Banks is a very interesting person to talk to, and we look forward to having him come on as soon as we get the date set.
For sure. Yeah, we appreciate your efforts on that, Rob. Can't
Yep.
wait to meet him.
And Mike, send me an email that everybody who sent a comment tonight, and I'll send them one of those magnetic things, and send me an email for the guy that asked about the sea foam, and I'll ask him whether he wants it for 2-stroke or 4-stroke, and I'll send him a free Amsoil product.
Definitely. And I think there
And
might have been a couple.
maybe he can compare it and come back on in a week's time and tell us what the difference is.
Yes. Good idea.
I like it when customers come on and say, "You're right."
Yes. And it's true. Amsoil, it really is. It speaks for itself. You know.
Yep.
Yeah. The proof is in the pudding. Just don't put pudding in your oil filler. That'd be asking for trouble.
Yep.
But cool. So we've got about 8 minutes left. Did you have any more on this, Rob, before we switch gears? Because I've got another video clip I was going to play.
No, but I thought the video where we're going to show was him walking through the plant. But we'll do that next time when he comes on.
Oh, okay. My apologies. I thought that was the one.
Well, I think that's the one I sent you the first time, but I sent you 2 different ones this time, I think. So
yeah, that must be it.
Yep.
That must be it.
Yeah.
But I've got another video clip. This is from a car show in 2021 down in Littleton, New Hampshire. It was in April, their first car show of the season. And I saw a guy, I'm thinking, God, he looks familiar. I think I've seen him at some of the vintage snowmobile shows. And you'll see here that I go up to him and ask him, you know, do I know you from the vintage snowmobile shows? And you'll find out.
You go talk to anybody, won't you?
In most cases, yes. And turns out we've become good friends since then, because I'd only met him a couple of times, but I'd interviewed him and everything at previous shows. In fact, I've got that somewhere too. But yeah, let's take a look here at the car he brought to the car show that day. I like this Torino. Starsky and Hutch live on. Gotta love it. This sits nice. This is nice. It's Torino.
Hey, Abby, how are you? Good. Yeah. Always nice. There's a couple of them. These guys were
That's the spirit right there. Is this yours? Nice. I'm live on Facebook and YouTube right now. Do you feel like talking it up? No, that's all right. No worries. Sweet ride, though. What year is it? Nice. That's really nice. I like that shifter. Good. Do I recognize you from snowmobile shows?
Yeah.
Phil, right?
Yep.
Yeah, good to see you, man.
Good to see you.
Oh, you look familiar. I'm thinking, standing here thinking, that couldn't be him. No, maybe it is him. Maybe it's not him. Good deal. Nice to see you.
Good to see you.
Now, have you got a car here today? Oh, this is yours? Sweet. That is nice. You like talking it up? Just like we do with the snowmobiles?
Yeah, we're doing like
It's deja vu all over again, isn't it? That's cool, man. Cool, yeah, did you know my name is? And yeah, cool deal.
Hi, I'm Phil Bell. This is my 1972 Gran Torino Sport. This car is all original paint. I bought it out of Oil City, Pennsylvania, off eBay. It was on a Sunday night. I bid on it. Got it on Monday.
Wow.
My son ratted me out to my wife. It's quite a scene.
Yeah, I bet.
It's a 351 Cleveland, 4-speed car.
Nice. Yeah, go ahead.
Has a Bentley.
That's a snuggle with your honey seat.
It's rare that these cars, a lot of these came through with the bench seat 4-speed for some reason, instead of the buckets in the console. But I had one just like this in college.
Oh, really?
I wanted another one.
Nice. Deja vu all over again.
Yeah, well, the movie came out in around 2001 with Clint Eastwood, Gran Torino.
Yeah.
And I was sitting in my chair one morning, and the trailer came on the TV showing about first few clips. They didn't show the car, like the the next week, you saw the car.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh my God, that's my car. Because my original one yesterday.
Yeah.
We drove it year round. And then I actively started looking for one.
Yeah.
And this one popped up on Sunday night. The car, the original inspection sticker still on there from 1980, 81.
Oh, really?
So,
Okay. I just caught my eye though too. This is nice. That's cool. Look at that.
the guy that owned this car passed away.
Yeah.
It was a raised ranch house with a garage underneath the house. The car was underneath that garage. The widow asked the neighbor to pull it out.
Yeah.
So he pulled it out, got it running, and put it on eBay. And I was like, it was instantaneous. And he had to make offer or buy it now. So I made an offer.
Yeah.
I was like $1,000 less than what they wanted. And when I got home from work, my son says, let's go check the computer. I turned it on. It says, congratulations, you have won.
Yeah.
Pay now.
Nice.
And my son runs to tell my wife. I said, oh boy. So, yeah, made a plan to, I sent him $1,000 on PayPal.
Yeah.
Took the truck and trailer and drove all the way across Pennsylvania.
Wow.
My wife said, what are you going to do if it's a piece of crap? Turn around, right back.
Yeah.
The car was beautiful.
Wow. And this is as you found it?
Yep.
Wow.
Original paint, original stripes, original wheels.
Nice. Now, is this the same year as the one they had on Starsky and Hutch? It looks pretty similar.
75.
75. Okay.
73 was the last fastback.
Okay.
75, they went to the corner roof and notchback.
Yeah.
That one had a 429, Starsky and Hutch.
Yeah.
It's red and white. That's a very popular car still today.
Yeah.
Covetose.
Iconic.
Yeah.
Definitely.
One red with stripe.
Yeah.
I wanted a 72 because that's what I had in school.
Sure.
And it's a 1 year only nose on these. The 73, the government came up with the 5 mile an hour bumpers.
Yes. Yeah.
Everything changed to 73.
Sure.
It's rare to find them front end. They're out there. They made a lot of things.
Sure.
They made station wagons, materials, everything.
Nice.
The sports. These are the last gasp for performance for Ford.
Sure.
It's a 4-barrel, big horsepower motor.
Yeah. And things were starting to change by the mid 70s with the downsizing and
Regulations.
yeah.
Prices rising.
Sure.
So,
That-
I had one that wasn't cool when I was a kid. Everybody said it's a big boat.
Sure.
Now they're cool.
Yeah. Definitely.
I wanted to find something. I was very lucky to find one, especially one that had no miles.
How many miles does it have?
It had 13.5 when I pulled it out. But I probably got less than 20.
Yeah. Sweet.
I drive it around with it. One's real good.
Nice. That's cool. That's cool. You're into cars and snowmobiles.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Anything with a motor, basically, huh? Same here.
Yeah, good stuff right there, our buddy Phil Bell. Yeah, and he organizes both car show. He has a cruise night. I think it's every other Thursday night in the summer months in Bethlehem, New Hampshire, which is just outside of Littleton, New Hampshire. And he also does a fall vintage snowmobile show in October, which is a really good show as well. But he's got a really nice site there for doing that. Not only that, let me see if I've got a graphic for his business. I do not, but his business is Beach Hill Automotive. They do restorations and maintenance repair on muscle cars, classic cars, things like that. They're in Bethlehem, New Hampshire. So just do a Google search for Beach Hill Automotive, Bethlehem, New Hampshire, and you'll find him. Really good guy, and tell him I sent you if you give him a call. Oh, here we go. Stacy and R. Fosler say my cousin had one yellow with black vinyl top, 351 4-speed. Excellent. And John Spranger was saying, whoop, here we go. Why is I'm clicking on it, but it's not popping up? There we go. John Spranger Jr. says I bought a new Gran Torino with 351 Cobra Jet in 72. Bright red, very fast car. Wish he still had it. Absolutely. And then Mike Whiteside says, great show, fellas. We appreciate that. Yeah, we appreciate all our viewers. And just an update, next week with the 4th of July and everything, we're going to be doing a replay. But 7/9, we're going to be doing something we're not sure yet, whether it'll be Gale Banks or someone else. And then the 16th, oh, good, Terry Mounty is saying goodbye to us. Let me pop the graphic up again. July 16th, we're going to be talking with Sean Smith. He's the president and publisher of Auto Roundup Publications. If you see these titles at Walmart and other places that sell quality periodicals, you probably recognize these publications here. We're going to have him on, and on the 16th of July, going to get to know him, ask him about the backstory on these publications, and please be thinking of any questions you might want to ask him about those publications. He's going to be hanging out with us, and I'm sure we're going to have a good time. And oh, here we go. Vintage Mini Bike Lover says Starsky and Hutch made them very popular back in the day. Absolutely. Yep.
Starsky and Hutch probably went through quite a few of those cars.
Yes, definitely. Well, cool. Rob, any final thoughts before we wind her down? Or?
No, it was a good show, and glad we got to save your voice a little tonight.
Yes, I needed that.
Yeah.
Yes. And yeah, for everyone viewing, enjoy your 4th of July, or if you're Canadian, St. John the Baptist Day. Is that this weekend, Rob?
No. This weekend is Victoria Day.
Victoria okay.
Day weekend.
And is St. John the Baptist, is that just a Quebec thing, or?
I think so.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
Cool deal.
But get the addresses for the people who left comments tonight, and the guy who wanted about the C phone, and we'll send some magnetic stickers out to people, and also some products to the guy who asked about the C phone.
Definitely, yes. In fact, the people that were commenting tonight, please message me on Facebook, because we're all friends on Facebook. Send me your address, and Rob will get that out to you. And we appreciate you doing that, Rob. And thank you also for your efforts, Rob, to bring Gale Banks on here. We are looking forward to that for sure, and we appreciate your efforts on that.
Okay, great show, Mike.
All right, have a wonderful
good
holiday.
long weekend.
Yes, have a wonderful Victoria Day and 4th of July, and we'll catch up with you guys in 2 weeks' time.
Okay.
And as always, we'll give the last word to Amsoil. Have a good one, everybody. Hello, everyone. This is Rob and Mike. How you doing today, Rob?
I'm doing good. Mike, yourself?
Very well. Thank you so much for coming on. I appreciate it. Now, today, we're going to be talking about Amsoil. And in a few moments, we're going to show you how you can get the deepest discounts, free shipping, and free gifts when you order your Amsoil products through us. But first, I'm going to ask Rob to give you a quick description of what Amsoil is and why you should consider using Amsoil products in your motorized vehicles.
Thanks, Mike. Amsoil is 100% synthetic oil. Everybody uses Amsoil for a different reason. Some people like the benefits that Amsoil is warranted for 25,000 miles or 1 year. The reason we can do that is because Amsoil doesn't oxidize. It doesn't form the usual carbons, gums, sludges like petroleum oils do. That's why we can keep it in the engines longer. Petroleum oils never do wear out. They oxidize themselves. That's why they have to be changed at 3,000 kilometers. And Amsoil likes the benefit that you only have to change the oil once a year. That saves some money. Some of the people like the benefit of Amsoil is it's a slipperier type lube. By having a slipperier type lube, it cuts down friction drag. By less friction and drag, engines run 20 to 50 degrees cooler, better gas mileage. Now, Amsoil says 25% more protection than the industry requires is in the Amsoil bottles. My average customer gets about 10% increase in gas mileage. That's a big savings.
Yeah.
And by cutting down friction and drag, for every 10 degrees you cut down the friction and drag, doubles the life of the engine. So by having the engine run cooler, it makes it last longer. Some people like the benefit of the range of the Amsoil. Amsoil's flash point is 425 degrees, and it pours at 50 below zero. Wow. If you ever tried petroleum oil when it's 10 below, it turns to honey. And in the summertime, petroleum oil thins out, and once it thins out, that's when it starts breaking down. So Amsoil's an all-season oil, can give you better gas mileage, longer engine life, less maintenance. It ends up being cheaper over a year's time running Amsoil than it is petroleum oils.
That's amazing. That's amazing. And Amsoil is available for pretty much any motorized vehicle, anything from lawn equipment, cars, trucks, boats, ATVs, motorcycles, snowmobiles.
Yep. And a lot of people phone me up and say, well, what's the benefit of our gear lube? Exactly what I told you about the engine oil. It pours in cold weather, it runs cooler, makes the equipment last longer. And they say, well, what's the benefit of the small engine? Same thing. Makes the engine run cooler, last longer, better performance. So it saves on all the applications that Amsoil has available.
Wonderful, wonderful. So yeah, let's talk now. Hopefully this has convinced people to think about maybe joining us in the Amsoil experience. Let's talk about some of the discounts and free shipping and how that all happens. I'm going to pop a graphic on the screen. And yeah, by all means, if you want to talk people through how this preferred customer program works.
Amsoil has a number of different programs. One of our main ones is a catalog customer, where somebody can order directly out of our catalog. If they order out of the catalog, they order $100 worth, Amsoil will ship it right to their house. But our best program is our preferred customer. For only $10 for 6 months, you become a preferred customer, you save 25% on all the product. You order $100 worth, they're going to give you free shipping. You don't have to order a whole case. You can mix and match. Say you want 4 bottles of small engine, 7 bottles of 5W30, and a couple of gear loops. You can mix and match. You can order 1 bottle at a time if you want. There's no minimums, no maximums. By being a preferred customer, you save over 25% on all the products you're going to buy. Amsoil sends you extra gifts, a $5 gift certificate on your birthday, $5 when you renew your account, and stuff like that. So it's a good way to save on some of the products you want to buy.
For sure, for sure. Yeah, it's an incredible value, and this is the deepest level of discount that anyone can get when ordering Amsoil. Is that correct?
It is. It is.
Wonderful, wonderful. So let's take people through the step-by-step experience of placing an Amsoil order. Then that would include signing up for the preferred customer discount, or sorry, preferred customer program, so they can receive those deepest levels of discount. So let's go to the website. This is what the website's going to look like. These are some screenshots. Once you go to amsoil.com, there's a link in the description, or you can just type that into a browser, amsoil.com. This is the page you land on. At the upper corner of the page there, you see how I've circled in red. That is the link to click, the Join Now link. That will take you to the preferred customer program page, where you can take advantage of all of these discounts and free shipping and everything that we've just been talking about. This is what that page looks like. In the lower right, you're going to click Join Now. This will pop up. You select the duration you'd like, whether it's 6 months or 12 months, and click Add to Cart. Now, once this pop-up goes away, you'll be back on the main page. And the upper left, you'll see where I've got that red arrow. It says Shop. Now you can start shopping for products, and on your very first order, you're going to get these discounts and the free shipping as long as it's over $100. You'll get all of these benefits right away. So once you click Shop, it's going to take you to the product page. There's different types of oils, lubricants, so on and so forth. For the benefit of this exercise we're doing now, I'm just going to click motor oil. It shows different types of motor oil. Let's click gasoline. Now this takes us to an item. It's their synthetic motor oil. And you can see the item there, and there's choices for different viscosities. But take a look at the price. Let's take a closer look. Let's zoom in. But if you've joined the preferred customer program first, you're going to automatically get the deepest levels of discount. That's what we're looking at here. You're saving $3.80 on that quart of oil. Instead of paying $16.29, you're now paying $12.49 for that quart of oil. That is the deepest level of discount you can possibly get. And then you just add the quantity that you'd like. You select any other items that you're thinking about, add them to the cart. And once you click Add to Cart for the final time, you're going to see this come up at the top of the screen. It's going to show your items and your the total that you're at so far. Pardon me. And then you just click View Cart in the upper right, and that'll take you to your cart. Take a close look here at the upper right. That blue box shows that you're getting free shipping. You're eligible for free shipping on this order because it's over $100. That little yellow box shows that you've got the preferred customer membership on your order that gives you the deepest levels of discounts for the next 6 to 12 months. And then below that, you've got the items that have been selected. For the exercise here, I selected 9 quarts of the signature series, but that brings us up over $100 for the free shipping. We're saving $34.20. And if you're ready to finish, you click Checkout Now, and that takes you to this screen here. If you haven't signed up with an Amsoil account at this point, just click in the lower right to create an account, create a new account. It's going to ask you for some basic information, name, and those types of things. Now let's take a closer look. You'll see this gray shaded box. This is a very important box. This is going to ask you if someone has referred you to Amsoil. And if so, please enter my name. My name is Mike LaPierre. It's spelled right there on the screen for the correct spelling. And also the referral number, 304-555-94. That's how you make sure that Rob and I get credit for this. Now, in the interest of full disclosure, I have signed up for Amsoil under Rob. So when you order using this referral number, Rob and I both benefit. So if you enjoy these podcasts that we're doing, this is a wonderful way to support the podcast, because when you order using this referral number, Rob and I both benefit. And the commissions I make go directly toward offsetting the cost of doing these podcasts. So I thank you in advance for that, for using my referral number. I very much appreciate it. And once you've done that, you just go into the next screen to enter your payment information, and you're done. Now, once you've placed your order that's over $100, and that order includes your Amsoil preferred customer program, you are now eligible to get a free DVD from myself. Now, this is going to be either a muscle car DVD or a vintage snowmobile DVD. Use the email address on the screen, wkspodcasts@gmail.com. Send me an email. Let me know which DVD you would like me to send you, the muscle car or the vintage snowmobile DVD, and I'll get that right out to you. As you're typing in that email, in the subject line, be sure and type in capital letters "free DVD requests" so it stands out as I'm checking my email, and we'll get that right out to you. So I guess the last thing, Rob, that we wanted to talk about is if someone is considering Amsoil as a business opportunity.
Yes. If anybody has a retail or a commercial account and they would like to buy directly from Amsoil, just send Mike a line. He'll show you how to set up, and you can buy directly from Amsoil. But if you are interested in starting your own part-time business, a part-time business that can grow into a full-time income, Mike and I will show you the Amsoil marketing plan. Amsoil has a large selection of products that cover almost every application. So it doesn't matter if you're into snowmobile, boating, or ATVing, or hot rods. We have an oil for every application. It's a fun type business that I really enjoy doing. Where else can I go and have fun and make money doing it? And Mike and I are here to help you all the way along. If you need any help on how to promote or to find new accounts, we're here to help you.
For sure. So when you sign up under that number,
this 304-555-94, you're getting Rob and I as a team. Now, Rob has been doing Amsoil for 40 years. Can you believe that? 40 years. So he knows every aspect of this business, and he knows all of the ins and outs of the products. So he'll be able to help you with any kind of product questions or any kind of questions to show you the different business models that you can do with Amsoil. And then the other thing that you get when you sign up under me is I've got a strong background in social media. So if you need some coaching on how to generate Amsoil leads using Facebook and YouTube, I'm happy to coach you with that when you sign up under Rob and I. You get both of us as a team to help you, to coach you, to support you, whatever you need to get you off and running with this business and having fun with it. Like Rob said, it's an enormous amount of fun. If you're like Rob and I and you enjoy going to any kind of boat shows, car shows, motorcycle shows, snowmobile shows, anything with a motor, you like going to those shows, those events, those races, this is a great way to turn that into a income opportunity for you.
Yes, yes. And just by wearing my Amsoil hat at one of these events, people come up and ask me about Amsoil.
Wonderful.
People don't know where to buy it, and I'm there to help them, show them where they can buy the product.
Perfect. Well, cool. Well, this is great. Any final thoughts, Rob, before we wrap it up?
Amsoil's a fun business. Amsoil's been around since 1968. It was the first synthetic oil to be AI approved.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's amazing. And that's very early in the game too, isn't it?
Yes.
For sure. Well, good. Well, thank you so much, everyone, for viewing. Hopefully, we've gotten you excited as we are about the Amsoil products. We'd love it if you could join us either as someone who uses the Amsoil products or to join the Amsoil team as a business opportunity. And we thank you so much for viewing. Have a great day.
You have a good day.